Hi, Ghosties. I'm Macy.
And I'm Natalie.
You know that feeling of prickling chills that run up your back? That sensation of eyes on you when you know you're all alone in a dark room? Maybe you've experienced the cold sweat that sends shivers through your body, or the slow rise of hair on your arms and the back of your neck when you hear a distant clatter break the total silence of the night. For some reason, this is how I feel reading about paranormal games. And that's why we've decided to have a second episode full of them. Today we're talking about 7 more games with connections to the spiritual realm and why you should never, ever play them.
I am not prepared. The last Paranormal Games episode, I don't know if I've said it, but when you brought up the idea, I was like, okay, girl.
I know. And then I told you, like, this is actually really scary. And you're like, okay, yeah, sure. It was terrifying. And then our video cut out at the end of the last one. That scared me too.
I don't like when anytime our video cuts out, it feels very ominous.
Do you still feel the feeling when you're driving down a desolate road at night that, like, what if you end up on the 11-mile road?
Yes. Yes. And now, since we talked about aliens that one time, I'm like, I'm going to be abducted.
Oh,
now
no.
It's going to happen.
Well, we've got more games that you shouldn't play, and we will never play, but we're still going to talk about it.
We are not promoting
No.
the playing of these games. This is strictly informative. If you play, though,
let us
email
know.
us. But don't.
Our tea today, it's Harney and Sons Vanilla Comoro.
I'm very excited. It smells great, but a moment of commotion for the mug.
I'm green with envy.
I got this at TJ Maxx. It has a little plate. I can't pick it up off the table right now, but look at her. All right, let's go.
That's nice.
It's great. And
I like it.
Honestly, I would drink
Better out of that mug?
I would drink anything out of this
Ginger
mug.
snappish?
No. I would sell this mug to anyone to not have to drink that tea again. I would smash this mug to not have to drink tea again.
The first game we'll talk about came to us, in a way, from a listener. We read Stephanie's story in Listener Stories 18, and she mentioned a game she used to play called 3 Pennies. So if you haven't heard, you can go back and listen to that.
Yeah.
But the entire time I was reading her story, it felt very familiar to me, and I couldn't figure out why. I knew I had never played that game, but it sounded like something I had heard of before, and I finally found the reason. It's similar to a game that I've heard of called Sarita.
I've never heard of this.
The origins behind this game are a little hazy. Some say that to play this game is to contact the daughter of Lucifer. Others claim Sara and Sarita are 2 different spirits, sisters who were murdered in a school in Mexico. Either way, the game is used to get answers to questions from the spirit realm. But beware, because once you call upon Sarita, you may never be able to rid yourself of the feeling that you're being followed ever again.
I'm kind of scared that you're saying the name.
Over and over again?
Yeah, I'm getting kind of freaked out.
For this game, you need at least 2 players. You can have others there, but only 2 will be playing at a time, and the other bystanders should stay out of the way. And 2 coins of the same denomination. So 2 pennies, 2 nickels, 2 whatever else they use all over the world. The instructions. You can begin playing at any time or in any place. You sit on the ground, both players facing each other. You speak in unison the words, Sarita, may I enter your game?
No.
Just already know.
I'm already scared.
Each player should throw their coins gently over their shoulder so that they land on the ground behind them simultaneously. If both coins are heads up, the answer is yes, and you may proceed to playing the game. If both coins are tails up, do not proceed. The answer is no, but you can ask again if you want to. If you try a few more times and the coins continue to land tails up, you should stop immediately and apologize to the spirits and try another day if you dare. If one coin is heads up and one coin is tails up, you should ask again, but it may be that the person who receives a no is not welcome to play the game. And some variations of the game say that the one who received a no should be the only one to try again, but that's up to you to decide. So you can either both flip again or just the person who got a no can flip again. Once you have been given permission to play, you may start asking yes or no questions, beginning each question addressing to Sarita. So like, Sarita, will I get an A on my math test? Whatever your question is. Take turns and only speak one person at a time, loud and clear. And after each question, both players should throw their coins over their shoulders. So regardless of who's asking the question, both throw. If both coins are heads up, that's a yes. If both are tails up, no. If one is heads up and one is tails up, maybe. When you finish asking questions, you may proceed to the farewell of the game. So really, you can end up here if you're either 1, done with questions, or 2, you begin to feel uneasy. Some start to feel just this sense of unease, like there's danger nearby, or you're talking to someone who isn't friendly. And you should end the game immediately if you get that feeling. You speak in unison the words, Sarita, may I leave your game, and toss the coins behind you. Once again, Both heads up, yes. Both tails up, no. One heads, one tails means you do not have permission. And ask again.
So what happens if you just keep getting tails? If it's just like, no, like conch shell type, no.
You don't have permission to leave. And you just keep asking until you can.
But
or you face the consequences of being a part of Sarah Sarita's game until you can.
So what are okay, so if you are like, this isn't even real, and you both got tails and you're just like, whatever, I'm going to walk away. It follows you?
Yeah, can. So you do not exit the game until you have received permission, and once you have exited the game, you keep the coins somewhere safe, and it is not advisable to spend them. They need to be put in a safe place, never to be touched again, basically.
Just forever?
Forever.
So we should not be picking up coins off the ground if we see them.
Maybe not.
Because if it's attached, what if you just, a penny.
I've also heard some people say that the coins are used for other people's good luck or something. You may be affecting that. I don't know. So, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe we should leave the pennies alone.
I always flip them. If they're heads down, I always flip them up. And I'm like,
we had somebody in the comments who said they do that too.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm always like, give someone some luck.
Well, you should make sure that you play in a location that the coins are not easily lost. And if you lose the coins, you may never be able to exit the game. So the same thing if you keep getting no's. If you lose the coins, you're stuck. So if you're playing outside and they fall into a grate and you can't get it,
too bad.
You should stay seated throughout the game unless you're retrieving the coins. So seated and focused, facing each other. If you start receiving maybe over and over again, or if something begins to feel off, you should immediately try to end the game. So if it's a bunch of maybes, then that's a sign that you might not be talking to who you think you're talking to.
God.
Do not try to cheat or rig the game in your favor, and do not put too much trust in the answers because they may be lying to you.
Well, of course.
Yes.
I'm just still freaked out over speaking in unison. Doing that purposely scares me really bad.
Just chanting together?
Yeah, sometimes we'll say stuff at the same time and I'm like, ha ha ha, but if we were sitting here staring at each other
with focus and intention.
I just got chills.
According to some reports, it's possible to receive permission to leave the game only to realize hours or even days later that something is off. You might feel as if you're being watched, or catch a glimpse of something out of the corner of your eye, or even hear whispers when you're all alone. And if that's the case, you can ask, Sarah Sarita, am I still in your game? And toss a coin behind you, and you may find the answer to be yes.
This could be a good movie.
It might be. I don't know.
I wonder. This could be a good movie plot type thing.
Yeah, where they never get permission to leave the game.
You haven't seen Talk to Me, have you?
No. Someone commented like, this is a great movie. Talk to Me is.
It was actually good, and I hadn't seen any previews for it or anything, and we just randomly went and was like, scary movie, we'll watch it. And it was pretty good.
I have a little story of someone who played it from Reddit. Thoughts before we go on. My main thought, once again, I say this, I feel like all the time, you never know who you're reaching out to, and you can never trust spirits, whatever you're reaching to and talking to, and the fact that you'll never be alone again.
And that's what gets me, because it's like, it's all fun and games, hee hee ha ha while we're there, but taking something with you possibly. See, I would never play any of these games. Sometimes when you're starting to explain them, I'm like, maybe. The possible consequences, I'm good.
I went into all of these like, if I find something that feels safe, maybe. And there's one. I left one for the end as a maybe. Maybe. But you'll see. It's just, it's because it's a different kind of game. So the story says, I played this game with my friends last year and we got very creeped out. We asked for the invitation and got a yes almost instantly, so we continued. We asked questions such as, Sarah Sarita, have you seen us before? And we got a no. We then asked, Sarah Sarita, are you here to hurt us? And we got maybe. So we started to get scared. We also asked some other questions. I don't think we angered the spirit at any point, but I'm not sure. Then lunchtime ended, so we tried to get permission to leave 5 times and the spirit said no. This was when we panicked. So we went to our next lesson and my friend was nearly crying, saying she could hear weird whispers from behind her. And one of the other friends said she felt a draft of air come from behind her as well. After school ended, we asked the spirit if that was her and we got the answer yes. We then asked to leave the game and we got a no. We couldn't leave the game for 5 days and every night one of us had a weird experience.
Oh my God.
It was playing with them for 5 days.
That scares me so bad because honestly, some mathematician out there, what are the odds of 2 people flipping a coin and getting tails 5 times in a row? Those what are the odds of that?
I literally don't know. I haven't taken statistics in 12 years.
That makes me feel very this
uneasy.
is real. This is real.
Like you're actually getting answers from the other side.
Possibly.
It's possible. The next game is an absolute no. No, for me. It's called the corner game. It's essentially a summoning ritual, and there are conflicting stories on its origins. Some believe it came from Japan originally, while others believe it started in Korea. Either way, freaky.
I'm already scared by the name. I don't know why.
What you need to play are 4 people, a room with 4 corners, and 4 corners exactly, no more. A working overhead light or a lamp in the room. So the setup. Make sure there are no other living things in the entire building that the game is being played. There should only be 4 participants in the space. No dogs, no birds, no animals, nothing that lives, nothing that breathes should be in the building except for you and your 3 other participants. Turn off all of the lights in the building except for the room you're playing in. Everyone should walk into the game room, and as you walk in, you should speak your name aloud 3 times. You should decide before beginning which player is the speaker from here on out. They are the only ones allowed to speak. No one else should make any noise throughout the entire duration of the game. Once everyone is in the room, close the door and make sure that it's shut tight. And remember, no noise. Finally, turn off the light and begin the game.
No.
Each person should choose a corner of the room and walk to it as silently as possible. Once in the corner, face the wall. All of your backs should be towards each other in the center of the room. The speaker can now count to 3 to begin the game. Remember, nobody else is allowed to speak at all, under any circumstances. On 3, all players should rotate clockwise to the next corner. Do not turn around. Repeat this process until it is time to end the game. Should anyone bump into each other while rotating, all players should go to the light switch and turn on the light and wait. Still no speaking, and you can try again in a few moments when the time is right. A player may disappear during the rotations. Because of this, you should come up with a signal to make sure that everyone is accounted for before each rotation.
Where do they go?
I don't know.
Oh
There is no answer to that. Some will assign numbers to each player so that they can knock on the wall once they're in their spots. So you've got player 1, player 2, player 3, player 4. And once you're in your spots, player 1 knocks once. Player 2 knocks twice. If a player is determined to be missing, the speaker should signal this, maybe with a clap or whatever you choose. So like if you get to your spots, player 1 knocks once, player 2 knocks twice, silence at player 3. Then player 4 is the speaker, they clap, and that lets everyone know, hey, someone has disappeared and we need to start the emergency procedure.
What?
Still no speaking though. What if it's the speaker that disappears though? No one said anything about that, and like, is everyone just there to be in their corners? Do you need a backup speaker?
I don't know, but I wish you would go on because I'm scared.
Sorry. So the emergency procedure, each player must speak their own name backwards 3 times, then turn around and press their backs to the wall. The player closest to the light switch should then turn on the lights, and the previously vanished player should reappear when the lights are turned on. Should, but is not guaranteed. If after you finish the emergency procedure, an additional figure appears in the room, this is when the speaker should start finishing the game. Never, under any circumstances, speak to this figure.
Oh my god.
Which is basically the whole reason for the game, is to summon this corner figure.
I've been trying to figure out what the game is.
Summoning. You're trying to get a corner spirit of some kind. I don't know. I don't know why you didn't play this. Just seeking a thrill. I'm not sure. So to finish the game, everyone must gather back at the light switch, preferably behind the new figure or entity that now resides in the corner. Everyone, one at a time, says their name backwards 3 times. Turn on the lights and hope for the best. And if you've all made it, open the door and exit the room. Give it some time before you attempt to re-enter the room. So close the door. And try not to be alone in there with the lights off from now on. It is there now.
So if someone comes into my house, plays this game, and then leaves...
Yeah, like if you're renting and someone played before.
That just unlocked.
You should cleanse your space before you move in. So there are extra rules, just things to watch out for. If anyone but the speaker talks during the game, all I've read is that you will find yourself in terrible danger. All 4 players are required to perform the completion procedure. If the 4th player disappears but does not reappear after the lights have been turned back on, you're on your own.
Where do they go? We don't know.
Wherever the corner spirit came from, I guess. I don't know. I put our thoughts. WTF is the purpose.
Yeah. This feels...
that just sounds terrible.
1, yeah. What's the reason? 2, this feels like someone made this up so they could get rid of their friend and be like, oh, the corner spirit took them. They disappeared.
Oh,
but it's like true crimey.
I hate that a lot.
What's the reason?
Don't play with any friends you don't trust with your life.
Don't play at all, actually.
Really don't.
This one, it's not even fun. There's no game.
No.
It's just a ritual.
Yeah.
I'm
scared. A lot of the paranormal games are just rituals. They're just there to speak with or summon or communicate in some way with something. I was going to say like a ghost, but it's not even necessarily ghosts. It's whatever is there.
Yeah. I just never have the desire to communicate with anything otherworldly because I don't have the desire to communicate with people.
Agreed.
Like on Earth. So why would I want to go beyond?
You're asking, I don't know, you're preaching to the choir
I was
here.
going to say, because you're the same.
So this next one made the list solely because of its name. It's called Don't Look Behind You and seems to be played just for a thrill. It is another summoning, but you're asking whatever it is that shows up to play a little game with you.
I feel unsafe.
Okay, so the entire time I wrote that intro because that's exactly what I was feeling the entire time I was writing. At one point, I had to put my back up against the wall and like cover all like under my bed and everything because I felt so chilled and like something was going to be behind me at any moment.
I'm uncomfortable now.
Okay, so what you'll need is chalk, two sources of light that run differently. So if you got a battery powered one, then you need a chargeable one, or I don't know, I guess that's both battery. I don't know. But they have to run differently in case one doesn't work. A power object that reminds you of your childhood, no dolls, stuffed animals, or objects that can be possessed, a game room, and marbles or pebbles or something like that. Just a group of little things. And those are optional. So the setup, there are a lot of steps to take before you play this game. Cover every reflective surface in the room and make sure that the game room is completely dark. Do not play the game if you've recently played a game that involves summoning spirits of any kind. Keep one source of light in your hands and hide the secondary light source somewhere on your person. You want to make sure that it's easily accessible if the first light fails. Clear the playing area of clutter. You want to make sure that the room is as empty as you can make it. And mark the spawning area with chalk. This is where the spirit should come through. And if you decide to use marbles or pebbles, make sure that they're close to you, but not in an arm's reach. You want enough time to be able to pull your light source. Hold your object from childhood in your hands, and lastly, turn off all the lights. Now you're ready to play. Face the wall and say aloud, I want to play a game. I will count to, choose a number, 10, before I turn around. When I turn around, you must freeze. You may only move when I am not looking, and you must only move one step at a time. The game ends when the light comes on, or if you touch my right shoulder. Close your eyes and face the wall, count to your chosen number, and wait. Listen closely. If you feel footsteps behind you, turn on the light source immediately. After you play the game, the spirit may or may not stalk you going forward, and under no circumstances should you lose. It's unknown what happens if the spirit touches you, so I say do not lose. Do not lose. Some say that you should be as detailed as possible in your instructions, like maybe adding you can only take one step at a time, or you must move slowly. That way the spirit won't decide that it will run at you order to rim whatever its prize is.
Oh, no.
I guess its prize is you, but you're asking it to basically play tag with you.
No, this is like red light, green light.
So it felt more like Luigi's Mansion.
Yes.
Like you turn around and shine the light and the ghost like disappears.
Love that game.
I do too.
I feel very unsafe.
I also feel unsafe.
I don't like this little feather thing back here.
It always scares us.
I'm freaked out.
Well, I have a story.
I don't like things like behind you or where you have to turn around because the one story I told you about our cousin. Did I say it on here?
Turn around. Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, our cousin told us a story that has stuck with me my entire life. She was bent down doing something and she was alone in her apartment and she heard a man's voice say, turn around, like straight up, clear as day. She said she froze and just said, no, and didn't move. And she's not like a spooky person that's into this. Like she's kind of skeptical, but she was like, there was something in my house and it said, turn around. I think about that way more than I should. And it scares me.
I think about it now because I didn't remember it or I hadn't heard it or something. And yeah, ever since you told me that.
We were helping her move. I was like 13 and she told me and I was like,
okay,
I'm scarred. I'm in danger. That's how I felt.
So we have a story. We played a total of 5 times and neither time did it touch us. We turned on the light before it could. The first time I only saw things and heard some footsteps close to my friend on the left. And then she turned on the light. The second time it was only faded footsteps. And that same friend tweaked out and turned on the light. We took a second to gather ourselves, then continued. Third time, I heard the footsteps more loudly. And it was close to that same friend, and once my other friend turned around, she was counting. She saw a figure and turned on the light. Fourth time, nothing happened because we didn't take it seriously. And the fifth and last time, my friend saw the figure closer this time, but still continued that turn, and that same friend turned on the light because it was behind her. And we then ended the game.
How do you end the game?
Just stop playing, I guess. I don't know. I feel like you should say something like, okay, we're done, go away, never come back. Something, you know?
I guess.
Like you can end the game. You can say and do whatever you want, but it's no guarantee that it won't still be there.
No, because who makes
you
those
invited
rules?
it in.
Yeah.
And who's to say you have the power to kick it out?
Exactly. And if it's kind of a dark spirit or evil spirit or whatever, they're not going to listen to you.
And we say this, but a few episodes ago we were like, nothing has control over you. You can control your own surroundings.
Very true.
But I don't know, if you're in a low state, if you're, going through some hard things, or you just like are super scared and it's super strong or powerful, or whatever it is you've invited in, it might take a little bit of time.
Actually, yeah, now that I'm saying that, you do have the power. You have the power. Just
The
tell
way you
it
said
no.
that, I don't know why, but in my head I was like, I got the
I
power.
knew you were about to say that, and for some reason, I'm angry.
Okay, we'll move on.
I don't know why.
We'll move on. This is yet another game that allows you to contact someone on the other side. As far as I can tell, the game was first talked about by a Redditor. They claimed that the other kids in juvie that they went to were playing the game when he arrived, so it's unclear of its origins. He heard it from all the kids that were in juvie. But they say that if you are wanting to speak with someone who has passed on, this is one way to go about that. It must be played by yourself, no one else. You need a phone booth or a small room like a closet of some kind, your handset, which is a paper cup, a telephone box. This is where the shoebox comes in. Your telephone wire, just regular string, something easily breakable by hand like sewing thread. About 2 to 4 feet should be enough. A sewing needle, scissors, some strong object to power the telephone box with. It must have a personal connection to whomever you're trying to talk to. This is very important. It doesn't have to be personally connected to them, but it can be something that you associate strongly to them. So like, I don't know, like if their favorite flower was azaleas and that was just super like a part of their personality in their life, you can use an azalea, I guess. It wasn't super clear, but it has to have a really strong spiritual almost connection to the person. And then a single sheet of paper, a pen, and some sort of flat surface to write on. So the setup, it starts with the outbound call. At the end of the day, right before bed, clear your mind, turn off all electronics and distractions. Make sure everything is completely quiet. Then you wait for the right time. You'll know when it comes. There will be no doubt. If the right time never presents itself after about an hour or so, go to sleep and try again. If the time doesn't present itself after 3 or 4 nights, then either you are not ready or the person you have in mind to contact is not ready. If you move forward with any doubt, you may end up dialing a wrong number. When that time comes, so when the right time comes, begin writing and do not stop until you're finished. No erasing to correct mistakes, no starting over, and you only have one piece of paper. This is your final draft and you will be using ink. Explain to them why you want to talk to them and be completely honest and don't overthink it. Once again, doubt equals a wrong number and a wrong number is not something you want. It's better to just abort the entire ritual if that's the case. After writing, tie one end of the string to the power object and using the needle, insert the other end through the center of the bottom of your paper cup. Remove the needle and tie a little knot to create your telephone. So kind of like, when you connect the cups, instead of to another cup, you're connecting it to the power object.
Yeah.
The telephone should only be made after writing the letter and not ahead of time. So you write the letter, then you make your telephone.
Okay.
Read your letter aloud into the paper cup, sincerely, and including any mistakes you made, just as you had written it. This is the outbound call. Place the power object and the letter into the shoebox, put the shoebox on the floor of your phone booth, close the box, and place the cup on top. Leave scissors on the floor next to your box, and now you wait for the ring. The inbound call. The ring will come to you in a dream, either that night or within a few days after. You will dream of the person you called, and typically you will wake in the middle of the night from that dream knowing that it is time to take the call. Keep the lights off and don't say a word. Make your way to your phone booth. If the cup is still on top of the shoebox, you are good to continue. But only if it's still sitting on top of the shoebox in the way that you placed it.
Yeah.
Shut the door. You need complete darkness for the phone call, and sit down beside the box and press the cup to your ear. Cover your other ear with your hand and listen. It could take a while, but you should not speak, and whatever you do, do not open the box. It might take a moment to hear something, but once you do, just listen. Do not speak, even if asked questions or commanded to do so. No words should be coming out of your mouth. You said what you had to say in your outbound call.
My eyes are watering bad. I'm scared.
Once you're done, to hang up, hold the box lid closed and break the string. If you can't break it with your hand, then just use the scissors. Keep the shoebox completely closed and in a safe place for the next few months, and dispose of the paper cup. Never put it to your ear again, ever, under any circumstances. Some say to just go and as soon as you can, safely burn the cup.
Uh-huh.
Don't do this often. Otherwise, you increase your chances of a wrong number. If you find that the box has been opened or the paper cup has been knocked over, do not proceed. Snap the string and never put that cup to your ear. Dispose of it. And keep the box closed, or like close it up and keep it closed for a little while until you can dispose of the box. You have to give it a little time. I'm not sure why.
Yeah. Again.
You never know who you're reaching out to. It could be a wrong number.
Again.
Or it could be what you think is the right number and it's not. And you're getting things that are not true from the other side. Also, you're obviously in a vulnerable state if you're reaching out to someone who has passed.
Yes.
You're in a state of like longing or love, wanting to contact this person, and you could be easily taken advantage of.
I was going to say that I have two thoughts. One, this makes me feel kind of a little sad. Yeah, just because
the whole Reddit post talking about this was like, I'm not even going to get into the psychological implications behind the game, because obviously it was probably a good help to some of these troubled kids who were reaching out to people they loved and that loved them, and just having a chance to speak their mind one more time.
Yeah, but
just writing the letter in itself is cathartic and good.
I was going to say that as well. It feels healing, but also I'm a little bit spooked. But again, this feels like it could be a really good movie.
Yeah,
you know?
Most of these could.
These are really good. Someone needs to do this.
People might be. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not like deep into like the more indie scary movies, you know?
Yeah.
So it's possible. I've got a story.
Oh, God.
I did it last summer. I remember writing to my great-grandma who died in 2014. I wrote the letter, placed everything like it needed to be, and continued without thinking about it. I remember that day. I had a vivid, almost lucid dream where I woke up normally. It was a sunny day, and I felt like I was in the real world. Everything was so vivid. I could see the dust on the floor, smell the air, everything. And then I remembered the shoebox. I was thinking, let's see what I'll hear, as I raced to my phone booth and stuck the cup to my ear. I heard something. A terrifying sound. It was like a robotic voice so distorted that I could only hear screams. I got up and out of the booth, but as I was starting to, I was shaking and fell to my knees like I'd been hit by a tranquilizer dart. I tried to stay awake, but I couldn't. And then I woke up in my bed, terrified. I quickly rushed to the booth, realizing it was a dream, and listened, but nothing happened.
I think it's best we put the box away.
I agree.
This is too much. I don't like that it like contacts you in your dreams. I really don't like that. I don't like any of these, but I would prefer the game happen as you're playing it. I don't like the prolonged thinking and dreaming and waiting for it. It makes it more eerie.
Agreed.
Because it has time to stew. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Too much.
Game number 5 is a weird one. It's called the Binoculars game, or I Spy, but I, like EYE spy.
Oh.
It's like a game of hide and seek mixed with I Spy, but so much creepier.
Oh no.
And it has some elements that are unexplained in the instructions, but I think we can all come up with a pretty good explanation for it. But you'll see when we get there. What you need to play: 2 players, a house with at least 2 entrances and exits, and at least 3 windows. It must be a house and no other type of building. It may be best to play this game in a house that isn't your own to make sure that he doesn't know or remember where you live.
My legs just got hot.
You'll need 1 source of light with an on-off switch for each window in the house that you're in. So if you have 5 windows, you need 5 flashlights or some kind of lantern or light.
Again, if anybody knows where I can get one of those football field lighting up lamps that will blind a person if they even glance at it, let me know. I would like one.
You'll also need extra batteries, just in case. A piece of paper and something to write with. A piece of rope or twine measuring at least 5 meters or 16.5 feet in length. Something to anchor the rope to. A sharp object like a knife, box cutter, or a pair of scissors. A timekeeping device. And a pair of binoculars.
What are we doing?
The prep.
The Boy Scouts? This is a lot of equipment.
Yes.
Okay.
It's all necessary.
Okay.
Once the sun has gone down, enter your house with your supplies and make sure all entrances and exits and windows are locked. Double check.
As they
Triple
should
check.
be. All the time.
Always. Go right now. If you can, go check that all of your locks are locked, all of your windows are locked, everything.
Everything.
That should be an automatic thing.
Yes.
Make sure all of your light sources work, replacing batteries as needed and turning them back off to save battery. Place 1 on each windowsill in the home, making sure all of the curtains and blinds are open. Place your anchor near one of the entrances or exits, tying one end of the rope to the anchor, ensuring it doesn't budge. So even with extreme force, it should not move. Place your partner near the exit that the anchor was placed and tie the other end of the rope to them, making sure it's very secure. This person should not be able to reach or unlock the door. They should not talk or make any noise for the duration of the game, no matter what happens. Write the following words on your sheet of paper. We welcome you. You shall not be harmed. Slip the piece of paper under the door that your partner is placed near. Grab your binoculars, sharp object, and timekeeping device and begin the game.
I don't even like you saying that.
I'm sorry. You are not welcome. None of you are welcome here.
Not even real people are welcome in this house.
No one is welcome here. Do not come. At exactly 10:30, walk from room to room. This is PM, by the way. Of course.
Well, yes.
Walk from room to room, making sure to turn off any lights in the house that may still be on. And as you move from room to room, continuously whisper the words, come, come, come with me. We'll have lots of fun. Come with me. Once all the lights are off in the house, return to the original door and place your ear to it. Do not make a sound and make sure your partner remains completely silent. Listen carefully. If you hear nothing, then the ritual has failed and you should not proceed. Turn the lights on, untie the rope, and leave immediately. Destroy the paper invitation. You can try another time at your own risk. If the ritual has worked, you will hear soft knocking and you may proceed. Take your binoculars and sharp object and move from window to window through the entire house. Each time you reach a window, turn on the light you left there and look outside with your binoculars. If you see no one, then turn off the light and move on to the next window, going to every window in the house. If you still haven't seen him, then repeat, going to every single window of the house, but hurry. You want to find him before he gets too close.
No.
If you see a figure in the distance out of a window, then you have finally found him. Now it's time to see if you found him in time.
In time for what?
Now it's time to end the game. Upon spotting the distant figure, shout as loudly as you can, "Forgive me, for I am mistaken," and close your eyes. Immediately open them and look out the window again. If he's gone, then you found him in time and the game is over. You can untie your partner, unlock the door, and leave the house. Take the paper invitation and destroy it as quickly as possible. If he is still there, then it's too late. Think back. Did you lock all of the doors? The windows? Are you sure? I hope so, because even that might not be enough to stop him. Holding your sharp object in hand, prepared to use it, and your partner tied, and hope that he finds something else more interesting than you. Do not ever play this game again. So,
Who is he? I don't like the ominous he.
me neither.
Also, why is the partner tied up?
So I have...
Is it like a sacrifice?
I have like notes concerning your partner. It's frequently said that the partner is required only for comfort, to provide the principal with a companion so that they feel less alone while undertaking this ritual. The rope, it is said, is meant to keep them safe. It's more dangerous outside the house than it is inside. And should they panic for any reason, the rope will prevent them from running outside. However, it is possible that the partner serves a different purpose. It is possible, for example, that the partner is intended as bait.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
That Mulan is a troublemaker. You said that. I have our thoughts. Again, WTF.
Growing up, where we grew up.
I know, I was picturing the woods.
I
was
was
picturing the woods.
I was picturing the woods around one of my friend's houses. And I'm so grossed out right now. Because she used to have like, there was woods, but there was also a huge pile of just like discarded wood and sticks and trees and limbs. And we were always like skeptical,
Something's not
like
right about that.
what's in there? What's, yeah.
I hated that game, and I knew you would hate that game, and that's the main reason it was in here.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. My chest feels heavy.
These are some of the scariest. I don't know what it is. I think it's the mystery behind them that leaves me like questioning, that scares me the most.
You know the doll on Lilo and Stitch?
Scrump? Yeah.
Do you ever feel like her?
All the time.
I feel like her right now. I don't know. That's how that story made me feel.
Okay. You just made me think of when she's putting all the spoons in the pickle juice. She's like, my friends need to be punished. So this next game, I remember being extremely popular several years ago, like on YouTube. Tons of people were playing it. It said that if played right, it can transfer you to another world, but it, like all others we've talked about, can have negative consequences. And this game is called the elevator game.
Oh, I've heard of this.
You have?
I don't know what it is, but I've heard of it.
It was so popular. I don't know how many years ago. It was probably when I was in high school or something. Many moons ago. And I remember everyone, like every time I got on YouTube, it was like, I played the elevator game and you'll never believe what I saw.
Yeah.
You know, with like,
What if we started doing clickbaity titles?
no,
Could you imagine?
I can't. I hate it. I get mad
Oh,
when
yeah.
I watch YouTube videos that are just total clickbait. Just like, I like you, but I never want to watch a video of yours again because of this.
I feel that.
So what you'll need. Only one person should play this game at a time. It is said that it won't work if more than one person is in the elevator. A building with at least 10 stories that has an elevator capable of reaching all 10 stories. So it has to be at least 10 stories. It can have 20, but you will only need the 10. There must be a ground floor and 9 more floors above it. The first floor here, for all intents and purpose, is the ground floor. So make adjustments as needed for the floor numbers I'm about to give you if you're in an area with a different numbering system for building floors. So first floor equals ground floor, second floor equals one above that, so on and so forth. Because in some other countries, they have like the first floor is actually our second floor.
Yeah.
And they have ground floor, first floor, second floor.
I already hate elevators. I don't even want to know about this game.
Okay, I'm sorry.
There's this one elevator, and it's not even that scary, but it scares me. It's in Dallas, Texas. It is the Lorenzo Hotel. There's a window on both sides where you can see into the elevator shaft.
I hate
as you're moving.
the thought of an elevator shaft.
But also, when you look at it, like, you kind of see your reflection.
That's so
It
scary.
scares me so bad. I've stayed in that hotel twice. No, 3 times. Every time I'm like, oh God, oh God, oh God. I don't like being in that elevator. And so that's what I'm picturing right now. And I'm already scared.
Begin at any time, but you might want to do this when the elevator won't be as busy. So probably not in the middle of the day where people are in and out all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Call the elevator using only the up button. When the doors open, enter the elevator. You must enter it on the first floor and you must enter it alone. Do not proceed if anyone else is in the elevator with you. Press the button to the 4th floor. When the elevator reaches the 4th floor, do not get out. Remain in the elevator and press for the 2nd floor. Repeat for the following floors. You go to the 2nd floor, then 6th floor, 2nd floor again, 10th floor. Some have claimed to hear a distant voice calling for you on the 10th floor. Do not listen. Do not get off the elevator. Then 5th floor. When you reach the 5th floor, a young woman may enter the elevator. Do not look at her. Do not speak to her. She is not what she seems. Do not get out here. Remain in the elevator and go to the 1st floor. At this point, one of 2 things may occur. The elevator will begin descending to the 1st floor, or it will begin ascending to the 10th floor. If the elevator descends, the ritual has failed. Do not proceed. When the elevator reaches the 1st floor, exit as soon as the doors open. Do not look back. Do not speak. Exit the building, and you may try again some other time.
I couldn't hold myself back from wanting to be like,
oh, I know you would.
Oh my God.
If the elevator ascends to the 10th floor, the ritual has succeeded and you may proceed. Note though that if you're having any second thoughts about what you're about to do, if you find you are losing your nerve, now is your last chance to back out. To cancel the ascension and terminate the ritual at this point, press the button for any floor in the building besides the 1st or the 10th floor. You must cancel the ascension before the elevator passes the 9th floor in order to terminate the ritual. If it gets past the 9th floor, you're going to the 10th and you're going to be there. When you reach the 10th floor, you may choose to exit the elevator or remain aboard. If you choose to exit, and if the woman entered the elevator on the 5th floor, she may take this opportunity to ask where you're going. She may even use your name. Do not answer her, and do not look at her. Exit the elevator without comment, and now look around. But do not lose sight of the elevator in which you have arrived, because you may not be able to find it again. You will, it's said, find yourself in another world, and although you may see many things and notice many details, you will know you've arrived in this world, or you'll know for certain by one indication. The only person present is you.
No.
And possibly the girl in the elevator still.
I was about to say, where'd she go?
She might still be there.
I don't like her.
If you did not exit the elevator at the 10th floor, then press the button to the 1st floor. The door should close and the elevator should begin descending. If it does not, keep pressing the button for the 1st floor until it does. When the elevator reaches the 1st floor, exit as soon as the doors open. Do not look back. Do not speak. Leave the building and return home as soon as possible. If you choose to exit on the 10th floor, return to the elevator. You must use the same elevator to return. When you enter the elevator, press the button for the 4th floor. You will now proceed to press the buttons and visit the floors of the building in the same order you did at the beginning. 4th floor, then 2nd floor, then 6th floor, then 2nd floor, then 10th floor, then 5th floor, then 1st floor. The elevator will again begin ascending to the 10th floor. You must cancel the ascension before the elevator makes it all the way up. If you have correctly canceled the ascension, the elevator will descend to the 1st floor. When the elevator arrives and opens its doors, do not exit. Not yet. Just look outside and check your surroundings very carefully. If anything, and I mean anything, even the smallest detail seems off, do not exit the elevator. Instead, press the button to the 4th floor and start all over until you reach the 1st floor again. Once you are confident you've returned to your own world, you may safely exit the elevator. Do not exit the elevator before you are absolutely certain you have returned to your own world, because you may never be able to return home again. Some say if you choose to exit on the 10th floor, there are varying experiences. Some state that you will see a world that looks almost identical to yours, save for 2 details. All of the lights on the floor will be off and if you look out the window, the only thing you'll see is a glowing red cross in the distance. Different experiences for different players. Some say electronic devices do not function in the other world, and you'll be completely alone, except for maybe the 5th floor woman, if she appears. And getting back to your own world may be difficult. You first may have a hard time getting back to your original elevator. Some say that this method may be used if you choose not to exit on the 10th floor only if the woman from the 5th floor does not enter. Others say you have to press the return buttons in reverse, so it's anyone's guess on how to return. If at any point during the game you faint, pass out, or otherwise lose consciousness, you will likely wake up in your own home. However, be sure to carefully examine your surroundings upon waking. The home in which you have been returned may not be the one you left when you first set out to play the elevator game.
What is the point? What are we doing?
Trying to go to another world.
I hope you know what this is doing to me.
I do, because it's doing the same thing to me.
I'm almost in tears over here because guess what? Next weekend, I will be in another hotel.
I'm sorry.
And I will be getting on an elevator. And if I'm on the 10th floor, no. By myself?
Maybe not.
No. If I somehow end up on the 10th floor, I will be calling.
I'm actually shaking right now.
I'm so sick right now. I hate this. I already get so scared
So sorry.
in hotels.
Hey, all you have to do is just not press these buttons in this specific order. You'll be fine.
My mouth just got that feeling like I was going to puke.
You want me to stop? I have one more game.
No, give me the last one.
Okay.
I need to get that out of my brain. I'm sorry if I don't have a good reaction. I am just truly
Terrified?
yeah.
Because same. I have
I don't like the lady.
one fun. No, me neither. It adds a level of.
I feel like she's walking in with long dark hair and she's just looking down.
Except for when you get to the 10th floor and it's like, where are you going, Natalie?
And I would punch her.
No, you're not
Right
supposed
in
to
the
give
face.
her any attention. You're supposed to ignore her. Ugh, I just made myself sick.
I've never fought anyone in my entire life, but I would fight that day.
Okay. So I have a final thought. Even if another world sounds much better than our own at the moment, it may be best to stay here rather than ending up somewhere that could be much worse. You never know who you'll encounter or what. Don't try to escape. Just we'll stay in this world and we'll fight together, okay?
Yep.
This game is the only one on the list that I would be remotely close to, maybe, consider playing. And even then, I'm not sure if I'm completely on board. It's called Red Door, Yellow Door, or Doors of the Mind, or Black Door, White Door, a game of many names, basically.
I think I've heard this before.
You might have. It's about exploring your own mind, so it may be even scarier than anything else we've seen today. It's advised you don't play this game if you're experiencing anxiety, depression, or any other kind of mental illness that could be altering your mood in any way.
I will not be
Not for
partaking.
you.
Dang, I was all like, yeah. And then you said, I said,
No. At least 2 players of sound mind. Well, one of them has to be of sound mind. The other one's
do
the
you
guide.
know 2 people of sound mind?
Not really. My kids. And even then. Okay, some have played alone, but it may be harder to escape if things go awry if you're all by yourself. It's not advised.
Escape?
A dark and quiet room, and the rest of these are optional. A pillow for comfort, a timer or an alarm, a voice or video recorder if you want to record your encounter, a cup of water. This one's pretty recommended, but you don't need it necessarily. Go into a quiet room together, draw the curtains, dim the lights, and shut the door. Clear a space on the floor to give the traveler enough room to lie down. If you're using a timer, set the alarm. It's recommended not to go on longer than an hour. Set up your recorder and begin. The guide should sit down and place a pillow on their lap. The traveler will lie down with their head on the pillow and close their eyes. Once you're ready, the traveler should raise their arms in the air, keeping them straight and pointed up, holding them there and not letting them fall and their eyes closed. So like both hands like.
You ever do that sometimes? When you're laying down?
Just one. Jake
Yeah.
gets so mad. He's like, can you put your limbs down?
No.
Like, actually, no.
What
I
is
can't.
that? Why do we do that?
I don't know. And it just kind of stays there.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll do that with my legs sometimes too.
Me too. Me too. But it's both hands at the same time. You're laying flat. Like that.
Okay.
The guide will now begin gently rubbing your temples in a circular motion and chanting the following words. Red door, yellow door, any other color door. The traveler should be focusing on the words and eventually their arms will slowly lower on their own. Keep chanting until the arms are completely on the ground, and this is when you begin. So eventually, they'll be there for a little bit, and then
Yeah.
eventually you'll notice that the arms are just slowly starting and the traveler's relaxing.
I was about to say, are they like in a trance type
Kinda,
state?
yeah.
Okay.
Now is time for the exploration. Once the guide and traveler are both ready, the guide can begin asking questions. Things like, what do you see? Where are you? And asking for as much detail as possible to parse out what is happening in the mind's eye of the traveler. You are there to assist them on their journey. and to help them come back when the time comes. The guide should always stay calm and keep the traveler calm. No matter what's happening, the guide needs to be calm. Start by asking, what do you see? How do you feel? Do you see a door? Do you want to go in that door? Do you hear anything? Is the door hot or cold? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
You're just trying to get as many details out of the traveler as possible. The traveler may not be aware of or remember what is going on at this point, but they should reply, describing everything they see and feel around them. You will find yourself somewhere else. Most people will see doors. Describe the doors, the room you're in, the hallway you see. Where are the doors in relation to the room? Which are open? Which are closed? Are any locked? Do you have the key on you? If there are no doors, your guide can then say something like, you're in a hallway lined with doors. Each door is a different color. You are to journey down the hallway. Something to lead them there.
Yeah.
If still they see nothing, do not proceed and end the game immediately. It's just not time for you to do this.
How do you end it? You just say,
Wake them up.
all right, pack it in. Okay.
We'll get to the end. The traveler can now go on exploring and listen to the guide and your heart. Open any door you like, but there are some rules. Do not go into a door that makes you feel uneasy. If you have any doubt at all, if you have any strange feeling about the door at all, if you are not 100% sure about this door, don't go in. Do not force your way into any doors that may be locked or blocked and you don't have a key. So if there's a lock and you have a key, then that's fine. You're able to unlock it, that's fine. Do not force your way into a locked door. Do not follow any stairs that lead down. You may take elevators and stairs going up, but never down unless you are returning back to your starting point. So if you get kind of high up and you have to get back to the room to end the game, you can go down, but otherwise do not take downstairs. An elevator may also indicate the end of the game, and the guide can instruct the traveler to get in and ride up and out and open their eyes. So if you see an elevator, maybe that just means it's time to leave. So you get in and you ride up until your eyes are open. Do not go towards the sounds of ticking clocks, and do not go into any rooms full of clocks. So if you open a door and it's just full of clocks, close that bad boy and get on out of there. Do not go towards the sound of rushing water either. Do not interact with anyone you may encounter there. Some common ones are an elderly woman, maybe even dressed in a Victorian era dress, and the guide should instruct the traveler to leave the room immediately and close the door behind them if they see this woman. If you see a man in a suit, the guide should end the game and wake the traveler immediately, right then and there.
It's
like,
the Hat Man.
It's over. Maybe. You never know. Do not continue if you begin to feel a sense of dread or danger. Do not continue if you suddenly find yourself trapped. So if you walk into a room and suddenly there's no doors or windows or anything, you're out. You got to get out immediately. And do not go anywhere if you have even a shred of doubt about it. The return. It's now time for one of the most important parts of the game. The guide should take the traveler back to the beginning, the first room or area they described when starting their exploration. Once there, counting down from 5, tell the traveler to open their eyes on 1. Traveler, make sure you are closing any doors you opened on your way out. You don't want them open when you leave. Now, if things have taken a negative turn and you have to choose between closing all the doors and leaving, always choose to leave. Always choose escape.
Well, yes.
Once your eyes are open and it's clear that they are awake, the game is over and you can turn on the lights and open the door and finish up whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
Now it's time for the traveler to reflect on what they may have learned in their time and their mind. So there's one thing, a forced stop. So like if you see the man in the suit, if the traveler starts freaking out, hyperventilating, feeling like in danger, there's a forced stop. So you can take that cup of water and splash it on their face to immediately snap them out of it. And if that doesn't work, keep trying because you must bring them back. You can slap them in the face gently. You can shake them. They have to wake up. You have to. Do not do anything while playing that could cause your death because some say you may never come back. Kind of like a dream.
Oh my God.
If you lose contact with the subject or they're unresponsive, try to wake them up. Like if suddenly they're just not talking to you, wake them up, shake them, say their name. Do whatever you can. And if that doesn't work, then it's a forced stop. You toss water on them. Remember, no matter how bad it seems, they're in a trance. And your first priority is to get them out. If they start shaking, yelling, gasping, anything, out. That's like a mental trauma. Get them out. Even if you can't understand what they're saying, but if they are freaking out, forced stop. There's also one incident where a Redditor was talking about how the subject had marks on them after they awoke. It was like a really intense travel and they had to force stop them and they had marks on their body after they awoke. So just beware that sometimes strange things can happen afterwards. Sometimes they'll be freaking out, like having like a panic after they wake up. So that's a possibility.
Is there like a science behind this or?
I have no clue. It was on Reddit, dude.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Just.
You can have a bad experience. Oftentimes people will wake up and just like not be able to talk, just be in a state just panicked.
Mm-hmm.
So play at your own risk.
Please don't play.
Don't
this
play.
one feels way too
Deep.
advanced, way too deep. It doesn't feel like a game. This
I don't
feels
know.
like
That's one that I'm like, maybe.
no.
Like I would maybe play.
I would never.
Only because I'm not in a state of like frenzied, like mental anguish at this point in my life.
That's my only state. Yeah.
No, I've had my moments in life
Yeah.
for sure, but where I'm at right now, I'm pretty level-headed.
I just don't like things like that. Like, I mean, that's like the hypnosis thing. I don't think I would ever do hypnosis because it just feels too like uncertain.
It feels like an elevated version of meditation, not by yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, I feel like it would be fun to do as a creative exercise. Like if you're brainstorming ideas for writings and stuff, like I feel like it would be a fun way for your mind to just like let go
I guess.
and be free. And I'd feel more secure if somebody else was there with me rather than me trying to go deep within my mind and like have this experience by myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I could see that. I just
Either way,
personally,
I probably won't be playing.
no, I personally am just kind of like really freaked out by that one.
Well, I have a story. My friends and I were at a sleepover not too long ago trying to mess around with games like this. And then my friend Mia came up with the idea of red door, yellow door. She explained it, and it seemed like a harmless, fun game. We followed the rules and began. She rubbed my temples, and I laid with my eyes closed, feeling as if my eyes became heavier. She then chanted, and at first there was nothing but darkness, until a yellow door appeared in my mind. But it wasn't like I was imagining a picture of a yellow door. I could physically see it, as if my eyes were open. That was pretty creepy, but I was so intrigued and curious. She asked me how I felt about the door, and I told her that I felt uneasy, and my chest felt as if there was something heavy on it, crushing it. She asked me if I wanted to open the door, and I replied with yes. I opened the door and walked through.
No.
It's like lesson number 1. Do not go
Don't
in.
open it. Oh my God.
At first I saw nothing but black and gray static like what you see on a TV. And then a bright orb appeared very close to me. But I soon realized that it wasn't an orb. It was a glowing clock floating around the pitch black room. Eventually it faded into nothing and it was pitch black again, until the most soulless, dead, emotionless face appeared. He had hair that looked knotted and damp, and his face was not a face. He had deep dents where his eyes were supposed to be, and an inward nose with just nostril-like holes. He had no mouth, but he could smile. I could tell he was smiling because there were smile lines where his mouth should be. He began getting closer and closer to me until right in my face. I screamed, but I couldn't open my eyes until my friend Mia shook me. And as she woke me, my whole body jerked me and her back at least a foot. I gasped as if it was like I was holding my breath or could not breathe until she woke me. Tears ran down my face and my whole body was uncontrollably, violently shaking for over 10 minutes. I was so scared to even close my eyes. It wasn't like I pictured all of this. I was physically seeing all of this, but with my eyes closed. My friends got it all on video, and my face when I woke up looked as if I had just woken from the dead. Ever since then, there have been times where my eyes feel like they are being forced shut, and it becomes hard to keep them open, even though I sleep just fine. Besides the vivid lucid dreams I keep getting of this demonic man, it's almost like whatever this thing is wants me to close my eyes or fall asleep for some reason I don't want to find out. There is another thing that makes me wonder because my family has a long line of psychics and mediums and people that can talk to spirits and the dead. It goes to every female on my grandma's side, which means that I have the gift. I've had multiple experiences with spirits and entities becoming overly fascinated with me, so I'm wondering if that's the case here. I need to know what to do to avoid coming to any harm and what I should do. It would also be great to know if there have been any similar situations to mine. Please help.
Please help.
Your long, drawn out stretch to me scaring me a little bit.
Because what have I been experiencing?
Were your eyes just shut on you? Yeah, but you've never done this. You've never seen the man with no face.
Oh, that was one of the scariest descriptions of a thing. Like knowing that it's smiling, but
you could see the smile lines, but it's all dark. All just total like night.
This was a sick episode.
I told you.
And by sick, I mean like disgusting, not like, oh yeah, that's sick.
Did your skin fall off the bone?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so there you have it, guys. Don't play these games.
Please don't.
Just please don't.
Don't. But if you do, please.
Email us at GhosteasPod.
Please tell us. No, but really don't. That's too scary. I don't like this. It feels very unsafe, and I like all the people that listen and comment, and I would like you all to
stay safe
here. Yeah.
I agree. Are there any other games that you've played out there that maybe you regret playing? We'd like to hear that too.
Yes.
There's a long list of these paranormal games, and I'm intrigued by them. It's like another morbid curiosity of mine.
Yeah.
I will never play these games.
No,
ever.
I had no idea this many existed.
Me neither. Growing up, you only ever hear of like Bloody Mary or the like Ouija board or pendulums and like small little things like that.
Yeah.
Never this many. And I don't know if it's just like the advent of the internet and the accessibility to younger kids.
Possibly.
Or what.
But
yeah.
Either way, even if it sounds fake, I just don't even want to test it. I don't want to tempt it. I don't want to put the energy out into the world that I'm like, I'm open to anything, like come to me.
Yeah.
I'm not open to anything at all.
Completely walled off.
Yes.
After today's episode, I think so.
The elevator game made me feel violent.
I know you said I've never fought anybody, but I will fight her.
I would. I already hate elevators.
Was that your least favorite game of the bunch today?
I blacked out. I don't know.
Okay.
You're laughing, but I'm so...
I laugh because I'm uncomfortable.
Oh.
If anyone hasn't noticed.
Yeah, people will comment. I'll be like, I feel sick. And you're like, nice. And you just move on.
Well, that's because, like, that's what I'm here for. Like, I am here to frighten you. You tell me all the time, like, I want to be scared. These aren't that scary. Well,
we've been getting some scary ones, especially with the listener stories.
Yeah, the more listener stories we get, the more, like, the scarier the episodes. We've got exciting episodes coming next month. So we are going to do, should we announce it? Or should we just wait until?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're if you stayed this
still
long
here, you get to hear the big announcement. For February, we are doing a month of listener stories only. So Monday and Thursday, all listener stories, all week, every week. Yes, but
they're themed.
They're themed. Well, the Monday episodes are themed.
Yes.
Thursday ones are still in order of receipt, but the Monday episodes will be themed so that we're kind of, that way we can get a bunch from all times being sent to us. Because I know a lot of you are getting a little antsy. So there's a possibility that your email will be chosen for a Monday listener stories episode if you've sent them already.
Yes, and it's going to be very exciting. The topics
I'm excited
are good.
About, yeah.
I'm nervous. I'm excited. I think it's going to be a very scary month. And it's February. We're supposed to be like light and love.
No.
Just fright and horror.
Yes.
Okay.
We're also trying a bunch of new awesome tea flavors. So if you haven't seen that, I posted it on our community page on YouTube and on our Instagram at Ghosteas Pod. You can go check that out and drink the teas that we're going to be having for the month of February as well.
Yep.
I'm really excited about some
Me
of
too.
those.
And I got us some cute mugs.
I'm excited about that too. If you like this video, please like it and share it with your friends if you feel compelled to do so. And subscribe if you want to hear what we've got coming in February. Lots and lots of scary stories.
It's going to be a good year. The year's already off to a great start.
If you're listening on audio, please give us 5 stars. And if you have a story of your own that you'd like to share with us and share on the pod, you can send it to us via our email at ghosteaspod@gmail.com. That's ghosteaspod@gmail.com. It's also written in the description down below. It's just a lot easier to grab them and keep them organized via email rather than DM, because sometimes we'll see the DMs, but there are a lot and it's hard to get to all of them. So if you send us a DM with your story, it might get lost in the interwebs. And if you're still here, comment is there like a board game emoji?
There's like a little chess piece.
Ooh, if you're still here, comment a chess piece.
I think.
You're still watching. Or something like it. If it exists.
Just say, I'm here.
Okay, that works too. We appreciate all of you for being here with us today, and we will see you on Thursday.
Goodbye.